In this video, we're going to talk about inequalities, and we're just going to do an introduction and talk about the basic properties of inequalities. Now, an inequality is a statement that one mathematical expression is greater than or less than another expression. So the properties of inequalities here, we're going to list three of them. Suppose A, B, and C are real numbers. If A is less than B, then A plus C will be less than B plus C. And if you think about this, this really just makes sense. One way I kind of think about it is, suppose that A is some pile of sand, and B is a pile of sand, and C is a pile of sand. Well, if the pile of sand A is less than the pile of sand B, well, then if we add the same amount of sand to both sides, the pile A plus C will still be less than B plus C. And we could also use numbers. For example, 5 is less than 7. And if we add the same amount to both sides, add 3 to both sides, 5 plus 3 definitely will still be less than 7 plus 3, right? 8 is less than 10. Okay, now the second property of inequality says that if A is less than B, and if C is a positive number, then AC will be less than BC. So again, if we think of A and B as these piles of sand, and let's think of C as maybe the number 3. Okay, if A is less than B, what this is saying is that if we do 3 times A, it'll still be less than 3 times B. Right? If we triple the size of the pile of the sand A, and we triple the one for B, we'll still have that 3A will be less than 3B. Okay, as a quick example, again, we could use suppose 5 is, we know that 5 is less than 7, so what about 5 times 3? Is that less than 7 times 3? Yes, of course it is. 15 is less than 21. Okay, now the third one is a little bit strange. It says that if A is less than B and if C is a negative number, then AC is greater than BC. And this might seem a little bit strange, but let's suppose we take C to be a negative number. Let's suppose that C is negative 2. Well, 5 is less than 7, but what about 5 times negative 2 and 7 times negative 2? Okay, which one is greater? Well, 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, and 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Which one is greater? Well, negative 2 is negative 10 is greater than negative 14. Okay, so the inequality gets flipped. Okay, and that's what I'm going to mention down here. You have to be a little careful. If you have an inequality and you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, the inequality flips. Okay, now in this section, if you notice these three properties that I've listed above, I listed them using a less than here and a less than here, but they're also valid if we'd use greater than or less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Now, for example, statement 1 up here could be redone like this. If A is greater than or equal to B, then A plus C is greater than or equal to B plus C. Okay, and again, I want to mention this caution here that this inequality here, A is less than B, gets reversed over here. A times C is greater than B times C when you're multiplying by a negative number. Okay, or dividing by a negative number, because you could think of dividing by a negative number as multiplying by the reciprocal of a number. So whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality gets reversed.